Okay, the next endpoint that we are going to build out is our register nodes bulk endpoint. And this is the final endpoint that we need to build out to build our decentralized blockchain network. These three endpoints that we have been working on will all work together to create our decentralized blockchain network, which you will see in just a moment. But for now, let's build out our register nodes bulk endpoint. So what does this endpoint do? Well, we use this endpoint up in our register and broadcast node endpoint. We use it right here. And basically what is happening is that a new node gets broadcast to all the other nodes inside of the network. And then we want to take all of the nodes that are already inside of the network, and we want to send that data back to our new node so that the new node can register and recognize all of the nodes that are already present inside of the network. So this register nodes bulk endpoint will be accepting data that contains the URLs of every node already present in the network. And we are simply going to register all of these network nodes with the new node. And just to clarify, the new node is the node on which this endpoint is hit. So this endpoint is only ever hit on a new node that's being added to our network. So let's build this out, and I think it will become a little bit more clear. So for this endpoint, we can assume that all of the node URLs that are currently in our network are being passed in as data, and we can access them on the rec.body.allNetworkNodes property. Because we are sending in the all network nodes data, when we call this endpoint up here, we're sending in all network nodes to the register nodes bulk endpoint. So we will have access to this data, all network nodes, inside of this endpoint. So let's save this data as the variable all network nodes. Cool. So this all network nodes is simply an array of all the network node URLs that are already inside of our blockchain network. Cool. So this is pretty much all the data that we need right now. Now all that we have to do is loop through every node URL in this array and register it with the new node. So let's do that now. So we will say all network nodes dot for each network node URL. We're going to do some calculation inside of here. And basically all we're going to do inside of here is register each network node URL with the current node that we're on, which is the new node being added to the network. So let's do that now. And to do that is pretty simple. We'll simply just say bitcoin.networknodes.push the network node URL. And that's just about it. As we cycle through all the network nodes with our for each loop, we are registering each one by pushing that network node URL into our network nodes array. And remember, whenever we hit this endpoint, we are on the new node that's being added to the network. So all of these network node URLs are being registered to the new node that we are adding. Cool. Now there are a couple of instances in which we do not want to add a network node URL to our network nodes array. So in order to handle for these instances, we are going to put an if statement right here. And above this, we are going to define a conditional statement. So one reason that we would not want to add a network node URL to our network nodes array is if this network node URL already exists in our network nodes array. So let's write out this logic now. Up here, we will say const node not already present, meaning that this node is not already present in this array. And this node not already present variable will equal bitcoin.networknodes.index of the network node URL, which is this variable here, equals -1. Okay, so basically all this statement is doing is testing to see if the network node URL that we're on is present inside of our network nodes array. And it will simply evaluate to either true or false. So we'll copy this variable and we'll put it right here. And then we'll say if the node is not already present inside of our network nodes array, then we're going to register that node. Cool. And one other instance in which we would not want to register a network node is if that network node has the same URL as the network node that we are currently on. So to handle for this, we will make another variable and we will say const not current node equals bitcoin.current node URL does not equal the network node URL, which is this variable here. Cool, and we'll take this variable, which will either be true or false, and we'll add it to this if statement. So basically all we're saying now is as we cycle through each network node that we're adding, if that node is not already present in our network node array, and if that node is not our current node's URL, then we want to add this network node URL to our network nodes array. Easy as that. So once we have completed this for each loop, we will have registered all of the network nodes that are already present inside of our blockchain network. So all we have to do at this point is send back a response, and we will say res.json, and we'll send the note bulk registration successful. And that's it. So top to bottom inside of this endpoint, all we're doing is this endpoint is accepting all the network nodes as data. Then we are cycling through all the network nodes that are already present in our blockchain network. And for each one, as long as it is not already registered with the current node, and as long as it is not the same URL as the current node, we are going to add it to our network nodes array. Cool, and that's it. In the next video, we will be testing this endpoint to make sure that it works properly and to get a better understanding of exactly how this endpoint is working. I'll see you in the next video.